You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Shandek, featured columnist Jay Bilson is with me today on CYInterview. We get a chance to welcome back actress Bai Ling, who was recently here in Las Vegas. Bai Ling, thanks for joining us again on CYInterview. How have you been?
I've been excellent. I've been, during this pandemic, it's kind of difficult, but sometimes, no matter how difficult, how stressful, how troubled our world today it is, but still there's so much beauty. So I've been lucky enough to see the light and beauty, and did actually a lot of work.
Well, I think that's a wonderful statement. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Most proudly, I think you're going to ask me, but I just can't wait to share with you and your listeners or fans, basically because the pandemic made my director debut film. It's dedicated to this time of our life. It's called My Quarantine Romance with Toilet Paper.
Very good. Well played. So what brought you to Las Vegas recently, since you were just here?
I was actually shooting a movie. Actually, I was traveling to Istanbul, then back to Rhode Island, filming a film. I did not sleep. We wrapped at 3 a.m. I jumped on the plane, 6 a.m., landed in Vegas, 11 a.m., directly go to set to shoot a movie, action movie. That's why I was in Vegas.
Can you give us any details about the movie?
Actually, it's an action movie. It's about revenge, a lot of fighting, which I do a lot of fighting there. And my character actually is extremely complex and interesting. Basically, if you go to my Instagram, I am Bai Ling. There are a lot of pictures there. She's this high society woman and like CEO dealing with all this, the drug world, the high society world, and tangling with all the wealthy men, like the life in Las Vegas. And then she holds her own and business and own identity and enjoy and having fun. Basically, that's the purpose of my character in the film serve.
Does the movie have a title yet, or is it still in too early of a production yet?
I think, I don't know if I should mention it. They didn't tell me anything. I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. Maybe you follow me on Instagram, so I'll post that. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to hearing that. So, aside from getting to shoot that movie, did you have time to do anything else while you were here in Las Vegas?
Well, I did wandering around, luckily because I have a lot of audition, a lot of work coming up too. So I was in the Bellagio Hotel in the Starbucks in the lobby there, preparing my audition or my script for the shooting. And I see the fountain dancing. How do you call that?
The Bellagio fountains.
Yeah, I was like, wow, it's like, I wanted to see that because I was so stressed. I didn't sleep for I would say when I was in Vegas, I didn't sleep for 3 days. But to see that, have that delightfulness, no matter how crazy Vegas is, everybody's gambling, all of that. I was sitting there watching the water dancing, just so soothing, relaxing. That's part of beauty among all this, gambling chaos and people trying to win some money, but there's a peace. And Las Vegas provided, and people don't realize. So that's something I really appreciate.
Well, I think your perspective is very well put. There is more to Las Vegas than just the gaming. That's a big part, but there's a lot of entertainment and a lot of beauty and a lot of soothing things. No doubt. I couldn't have said it better, Jay.
Bai Ling, it's interesting. I remember one time standing in front of the Bellagio. It was about maybe 7:30 at night, maybe 8 o'clock at night. The sun was going down, and the music started to play, and I saw the fountains, and I just started crying. Just started crying. I can't, even to this day, I can't really explain what I was crying about. I was simply moved.
It's connected to your inner beauty and emotions that you appreciate the beauty.
It was really, really something. I believe the water in front of the Bellagio was originally designed to represent Lake Como in Italy. And I haven't been there, so I can't compare it. But I find it to be a very peaceful, very, very majestic spot. Dare I say magical?
Yes, you said perfectly what I want to say. You know, when I was inside, I didn't get the window seats, right? There's two couples sitting there, but from far, I look at it like a painting, like those old, like French or Italian painting, like, but beyond them is the moving water dancing. It's really, like you said, it's magic. That moment actually strike more than any other, the gambling or other stuff. But that's a moving moment, like most of the time people ignored. That I appreciate.
It is very, very true. When you come to somewhere like Las Vegas, is it somewhat difficult in the sense of, are you recognized by many fans, or are you able to, I mean, maybe today it's different because we wear masks, it's hard to see each other,
Yes,
but
yes.
in general, when you come to Las Vegas, are you recognized by a lot of fans? Do you get to enjoy some of your own privacy? How does that work for you?
Yes, the one day I was in the lobby, right, waiting for my car. Somebody called my name, Bai Ling. I said, hey, I look at them. I don't know them. I said, do. He said, we're just fans. You know, they're so sweet, but I don't know who they are. I thought it's my friends, right? And they just calling me and said, we just want to say hello. Like, very sweet. And, yeah, I meet a lot of people, you know, when I'm walking, when I take out my mask, take pictures, and people recognize me. I appreciate that. They do.
Yeah, well, you certainly have a lot of fans, and you certainly have quite a body of work that's lasted for a good while. And
funny? Yeah, I have to interrupt you because I forgot. My friend just sent me a link of I think it's page 6. A link to me today. I have a Jennifer Lopez, all of that, of all the dresses. I'm among them. Just today come out. I was like, wow. It's just like, I'm sort of like, you know, people say like my fashion icon or one of the pop culture character, like, you know, the media pick them up here and there once in a while because how my fashion are.
I would say that it is fair to say that you are a pop culture / fashion icon. However,
I like that. Thank you.
I do think that some people may not be aware of just how an incredibly talented and serious actor you are, because you have a long trajectory in acting, you have superior training, and you've been in some remarkable films. You know, when you started talking about an action film, I thought about, am I imagining this, Bai Ling, or didn't you once actually fight with Jude Law? Didn't you actually kind of give him a bit of a beating, if I recall?
Yes. I was doing the Sky Captain World of Tomorrow. So basically my character fighting with him, and deadly fighting, right? At that time, he also shooting for his close-up, all of that. When we're shooting, the director told me do not hit his face because we're doing close-up. So I was very hesitant fighting with him because I don't want to hurt him. I was doing, he said, Bai Ling, come on, go for it. He said, why you're hesitant? I said, I don't want to hurt you. He said, you will not. So I just went for it directly. I hit him with a stick on his forehead. I said, shit. Then I see a little bit like a red mark. I said, I'm sorry. He said, go on, no problem. I said, you said so. It's not my fault.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in, I also remember you in Crank. That was with Jason Statham, no? I mean, you really have done well in the action genre, and of course in the role of, in very, very serious and poignant roles. Your film with Richard Gere, I want to say that was back to 1997, was that Red? Can't think of the name of the film. You played an attorney, That's right. Red Corner. You played an attorney, right, defending Richard Gere. Yes,
I actually won the most prestigious award, which is for actor want to win. It's hard to win, called the National Board of Review.
National Board of Review, right.
You know the moment, now it just occurred to me, the word presented in Central Park in the Green Garden, in the middle of Central Park, there's a fountain, there's bowl, there's water in that restaurant. It's like very fancy, always have a award ceremony. It was presented to me, at that time my English is not very good. When I walk onto stage, you know what I saw? Meryl Streep was sitting downstairs directly staring at me. I said, wow, I said, I must do something wrong. She's watching me receive a award.
Yeah, no, that you're, and I hope our listeners, our followers, our readers pick up on this, that they should really check out your body of work, because I think in a way you became so famous for fashion and in interviews a certain kind of directness and creativity that people may not realize the wealth of work you have as a very, very serious, very talented actor. So I think it's a good place to kind of segue. You were last with us in 2016. It's been 5 years since you've been with us, and my goodness, you've been doing an awful lot of work.
Well, I want to thank you so much for observing that and bring that to the front. You're right. It's like I've been like whatever Hollywood machine see me like a fashion icon, whatever they praise me or joke about me, I think that enlarged cover my work as a serious actress. I think unfortunately in society, they sort of stereotype people, not by race, but for example, if you are this, fashion icon, sexy and outgoing, beautiful, sexy woman, you're not supposed to be a talented actress. If you're a talented actress, you're supposed to be the background. You're not a personality or a fashion icon. I think in today's world, I represent both. It's a new genre. It's new history of women should be respected and rewarded and the perspective look at them both. If you're sexy, you can be intelligent. If you're intelligent, you also can be sexy. But those two somehow, I think it changes in right now as New Year, almost 2022. I think people, man or woman, has to be somehow welcomed, loved, impressed, welcome, the respect of women which stand for both. I think that's what I'm doing. That's what you're saying. Like a lot of people only say, oh, I'm sexy, she must be just like, celebrity. But if you're a good actor, you're not supposed to be, like all of a media celebrity. I think we can be both. For example, I'm the first woman to granted on the cover of Playboy magazine. Hugh Hefner wanted me. I think I'm in a legacy now. I rejected for 3 months. But I'm there. Also, I won Asian Oscar. I want to share you something. Last year, I went there for quarantine 14 days. I got nominated for Best Actress for Asian Oscar for the film called The Abortionist. So this year, just right now, I'm still struggling if I should go. They asked me, invite me back to present the Best Director, but I have to quarantine for 21 days.
Wow.
So it's
21 days, my goodness.
Can you believe it? It's too much. I'm vaccinated. I've been tested 20 times, all negative. So, but it's great honor you present the Best Director, but you have to, it's like you want to get something, you always have to give. That's basically you learn about life. When you give, you will get. When you get, you have to give. It's not just everything you have to work for. So I'm still struggling. Should I go or not? It's really difficult. I would like to go because last year I was in Taiwan. Basically, I turned the Taiwan basically upside down. They said I'm a golden sentence of, intelligence of all these phrases to inspire people. And my fashion, I turned over from, I was a Vogue, Elle, and all this magazine, also Gossip magazine, even in Texas. It's like I did that because today the world, the young people have no hope. If I can do all of this, give them hope, especially I'm Asian, I come to Hollywood. I think there's something, I'm doing very bravely just to inspire other people. Like in my social media, no matter what pictures, video I'm posting, that's just okay. But there's always a cookie. I give a cookie, means a little wisdom to inspire people. By that cookie, I saved a few people's lives. They still thank me today.
Yeah, amazing. I wouldn't doubt it whatsoever. How has you mentioned the pandemic, you mentioned being vaccinated and tested 20 times. How has the pandemic affected you personally, and what social observations do you have about it?
I feel like the good things, like people start to value life now. They're not thinking or planning or waiting for later. But also this fear somehow gets to people because when your life is on stake, you become scared. But I think somehow we have to emerge from that fear. We're all healthy. I believe personally we have an energy, we have a vibration. If we project that vibe, that energy, which is powerfully healthy, and the sickness cannot get to us. We have to believe that. If you're afraid of it, you're always afraid, and whatever you're afraid of always will come to you. I think we have to realize we're more powerful than just a human being. The other side of us, basically, God is a God, which we have that energy. Because we're part of the universe, we're connected. I think this pandemic made us, even though we're quarantined, we cannot go out, but within the space, we actually bring our universe open another side, which is spiritual side. We can see, we can reach beyond, and much more beautiful, much more alive. It's like there's something supernatural, in a different perspective of looking up at life.
You are always looked at as not somebody who just is fashionable, but also as somebody who is always in just the peak of good condition. I am curious, has it been difficult for you? So many people, I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow, I think it was a number of months ago, spoke about gaining weight and struggling. So many entertainers have said, wow, yeah, it's been a tough time. I mean, I think one of the things Stanislavski always spoke about is the physical component of acting, and you have to be kind of, dare I say, almost an athlete. Has it been difficult to keep yourself in the same kind of condition that you're known for?
Luckily, you will be surprised. I don't do exercise. Where my body form, I'm so lucky, thank the universe. I eat whatever I want. I sleep. I eat dessert. Middle of the night, get up, I'll eat. I feel like, my body's been used to it. Body has their own intelligence. If you keep eating, you keep your routine, they're actually going to find a balance where you do not have to worry. I think this thing, you gain weight, you're losing your balance because it's the physical, the mental weariness. You're mentally not healthy. When you worry, the worry is going to shift your system. Because your mind is your central station, control your body's universe. If that central station is shift, and everything, the machine inside of it go wrong. So for me, I always trust. I think that's very important. Trust your well-being. Trust that everything will work out for you. That's what I'm always aiming for. Therefore, I don't have worry. My physical being, all of that, even in a difficult situation, still keep the same.
Great wisdom in those words. These have been, I think, tough times in the United States. There's been a lot of polarization. There's been this thing called cancel culture. I think people feel inhibited from speaking their minds sometimes. One of the very, very ugly things that has taken place because of the pandemic, I think, is there has been a rise in prejudice and prejudicial thinking, actions towards people who are Asian and Asian American in the United States of America. A lot of people may not realize this, but there is a strong Asian community in Las Vegas. There is a very strong area to the west, actually to the west of the Bellagio, and that general area where there is a very strong presence of businesses where people who are Asian or Asian descent have some wonderful establishments, restaurants, supermarkets, all kinds of different businesses, really wonderful for visitors to the city to check out. What have you observed? Have you observed any of that personally? And what is your kind of social take on what's transpired in that kind of more dark area since the pandemic hit?
I think maybe my take and my perspective is very different because I think when you have hatred, when you have worry, when you're afraid, when you're resentful, all these forces are going to come to you. You don't even know that's what you project, you attract. When you look at somebody, you're already suspicious, you're afraid of them, or you reject them, then this is the energy you're going to get it back. But for me, since I come to the United States, honestly, with you, it's like all I get is love, welcome, and compassion, and towards to me everywhere I go. Of course, there's certain times for anybody, not just Asian, you get somebody crazy, like in New York subway, people throw stuff on me, all of that. That's just not because I'm Asian. Even if it's towards to Asian, we cannot return as hatred because you draw, you emphasize those doctrines, emphasize those, this racism, all of that. This is going to enlarge those things. I think we have to look at the life in a beautiful way. Not the world is beautiful, healthy, not sick, not dark. Asian are respect the love, not being rejected or prejudiced. I think that's the first fundamentally in our mind. We have to create that space, that confidence, that theme for us. That's the first thing. If you keep asking other people to support, don't hate us, they're going to hate you. Because that's your project, people hating you. Why you keep saying, like in my world, jealous, hatred, all the negative things are not in my world. Therefore, in my life, I don't have those energy, those circumstances or things happening to me. I think that's something we can control. We have to redefine. If you every day say like this, fight that, then you're basically only love can conquer. Only love can mute those ages of darkness, age of misunderstanding. I think that's my approach. Not everybody against everybody. When against, there's war. When there's war, what's the result? It's killing, it's death, it's more hatred, more generation trying to revenge, and trying to more gaps. But if it's love, forgiveness, compassion, like now it's different. When I get so much negative comments in China, in here, because I'm so sexy, so open, red carpet, often capturing my nipples, all. I got all this hatred. But what I say is, I say, you hate me, I still love you. It's not that I don't bother, but one time I was flying, I was bothered then. It was raining in LA, but when we fly, above the cloud, it was sunny, it was peaceful, it was beautiful. I looked down on earth, I said, wow, I have such compassion for humanity. I say, they're not in my level, they don't understand what I'm doing. Why would I hate them? Why would I take their hatred of hurting me instead of giving love, compassion for me, because they don't understand me. That's my
very, very interesting insights. And you really, it's so interesting. We could have so many interviews with you because it reminds me of when we spoke with you 5 years ago. Not only are you known to the public at large as a fashion icon and a celebrity on the red carpet, but you are a phenomenally serious actor. But you're also possessed of a tremendous amount of insight and wisdom, and it's always a pleasure when you come on with us and CYInterview. Do you have any?
I think yours too. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Do you have any plans, Bai Ling, of coming back to Las Vegas anytime in the not too distant future?
Because I love there. It's always like Vegas. I love it. Even the gambling all over. It's like for me, like just waking up my child side. I work in the Paris, I see the Eiffel Tower, I see the clouds on the ceiling, blue sky. I think everybody's wandering around, almost like we're traveling like in the dream state of mind, almost like fairy tale land. I love that part. In the evening, it was so beautiful. All the, you can see the whole city. It's like fairy land. It's beautiful. But on the other hand, a lot of people there are trying to specifically get something, I just think this next place is very unique, stands on its own in this world as everybody come there. So I always want to go back there, whatever opportunity. I know that if I open to that, I might be there very, very soon. You never know.
Got you. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. Chris?
So for actress and all-around entertainer and insightful person, Bai Ling, featured columnist Jay Bilstein, and CYInterview, I'm Chris Yannick.